First up was the learners. They're mainly used this intervention on level 2 to 3 numeracy learners. So they're predominantly male, and they are diverse background and a diverse age. They're all trade-based, so it's part of their electrical course, and they come with varying diverse range of abilities when it comes to numeracy. The first intervention that you're seeing people involved in is a clothesline with just clothes clips on it. What that's about is the students have cards with numbers in different formats on them, and they've got to place them in order as a group, so they're all up there. I hand out more cards when they run out with the ones they've got, and they just put them in order from 0 up to infinity. How and why this intervention? The students, I previously gave them workshops to do these exercises on. We'd do a bit of learning around it, and we'd do exercise around it. A lot of the students wouldn't commit to actually writing the answers down, so I did initially have exercises with numbers cut up on pieces of paper, and I could get them to first of all recognise the different number forms. I'd get them to put them in piles showing the different forms of numbers, and then I'd get them to order them within that pile, and I'd get them mainly to do this in pairs, working away. Just they're not writing, which they seem to like, that they can just kind of put them around, and if they put them in the wrong spot, they can move them easily, so they're not committing to an answer. I saw some educators using a similar system with word structures, where they had students placing words into a sentence, coming up and putting a word on a sentence, and that gave me the inspiration that I could maybe get the students to order the numbers that they had in front of them up onto a string. This works really well as a group team. It gets them all up, and they've got to work together, and they really need to help each other out if they're going to kind of solve the puzzle in the end as it is. Okay, the students' reaction to it. It's definitely a big change in energy level when we bring this in. It gets them up off their feet. They can get up and get moving, and they really have to interact with each other, otherwise they soon realise that they're not going to resolve the number line very quickly. There's also a range of ability involved in it, so some people will be very good at this and some not so good, and the people that are good at ordering their numbers really have to be getting those that aren't good alongside and helping them sort it out. Otherwise they start putting numbers within their range, which is wrong. So they really got to work together on it, so it brings the group up together. Students are also interacting and challenging each other, and they're put in a situation where they've got to work together. The other thing is there's no pen and paper involved, which is quite important to a lot of my students. They just won't really commit. They really struggle to commit an answer to paper, because I guess it's permanent and they can't change it. In this situation, they get in the wrong place, they can soon move it along, or they can shuffle their answers around and come up with a resolution together. So one of the fixes this is they're getting a lot more exposure to the numbers, because they've got a lot more numbers in front of them. When they're down on the table, there's a lot of numbers there, so they can see them all in the different forms. And it also gives them the flexibility to move their answers if they're wrong, and they start to realise that being wrong is okay. You know, you learn by being wrong. Put in the wrong spot, you can change it. It's not the end of the world. And the last thing I'll comment on is actually running the exercise is very easy. I don't know if you noticed in the video, but I'm not actually doing much work. The students take it and they run with it. It also gets them all closer to you if they are having problems, whereas if I'm doing it in class, I have to move around a big classroom with students and get amongst them all and resolve their issues as they come. So there's a change there in the fact that they're up front with you and you're closer to them if there is issues, but generally they're up there doing it themselves, and there's not much work on my part at all, which is great.